Welcome to To Be Continued. This is our Super Bowl episode. We weren't able to get to you last week because somebody here.
It was Christian's fault.
Of course. Valentine's Day didn't get in the way. Anyway.
Yeah, Christian was busy on Valentine's Day.
His mom.
She's a nice lady.
Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, gentlemen.
Where?
Anyway, as we all remember, Caleb's team famously won 23-20.
I have my hoodie on.
And
It's too hot, too late.
it's too hot, too late. And Caleb, we're going to allow you to go first and give your takeaways of the game since it's your team.
So I had no doubt that the Rams were going to win this game. Almost said lose. No doubt they were going to win. I did think they were going to win by a lot more than they did. But if Odell Beckham hadn't gotten hurt, they would have won by a lot more. I don't think it would have been close. People like to cry about the refs. That's because they need something to cry about. Honestly, I think it was just a poorly officiated game all the way around. The refs let them play too much early on, and then they decided that they needed to draw a line somewhere in the 2-minute warning, which was why people are upset. But honestly, I don't think they really impacted the game. It feels like it did because of when they made the call, but they were the right calls. Let's be honest. They were all the right calls. And they wouldn't have had the touchdown, Jalen Ramsey. Okay. The long T. Higgins 75-yard, whatever it was.
That was payback.
But I think they got the wrong MVP. And the MVP should have been that idiot Bengal offensive lineman that got in Aaron Donald's face and woke the beast.
Quentin Spain.
The Rams defensive line wasn't doing a whole lot. We were all watching it together, and we all were saying, like, wow, this Rams defensive line really hasn't done what we thought it would. And then the second half, Joe Burrow was on his back like the entire half. And all of that happened after that offensive lineman pushed or got in Aaron Donald's face for what was a legal hit. And even Joe Burrow got up and said, nice hit. So they fired up Aaron Donald, and Aaron Donald took the game over.
Well, I think with that, we'll let the Rams kicker's biggest fan, we'll allow him to give his takeaways of the game.
Rams won. I knew it. I watched it. I thought that was going to happen. Matt Gay did his thing, as he should. Good game.
Is that really all you have?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Riley, I know you can spice it up. Go ahead. Give us – I know you wanted the Bengals to win, so –
I think that all around it was a great game. I think the ref situation was whatever. I think they shouldn't have gotten involved in the 2-minute warning because they wanted to let them play the whole game. I think you should either be involved or not be involved. It can't be a mix. I think that the Bengals, they put up their best fight. I think there was nothing more they could have done other than have a better offensive line.
Or put Eli Apple on the bench.
That too, but listen, if they had an offensive line, Joe Burrow would have seen Jamar Chase down the field wide open because he burned Jalen Ramsey again, just like he did the whole game. And honestly,
I can still say Matt Gay.
I think that both teams played well, and they deserved to. Both of them deserve to be there. And I'm honestly excited to see what the Rams do next season before they lose everybody.
So here's an early prediction. Who do you think gets back to the Super Bowl faster, the Rams or the Bengals?
it depends on the offseason. 100% the term.
Yeah.
It depends on the offseason.
I think if Bengals can get some offensive line and replace Eli Apple, they'll make it.
Actually, let me rephrase that. Neither way you could look at it, I really would say the Rams because the Rams have the easier path. I mean, the AFC, you got all the young stud quarterbacks there. I mean, even if they get an offensive line, if Mahomes can just get back to where he usually plays at, they're not making it. If Mahomes plays like Mahomes that second half, they're not even in the Super Bowl.
Unless like Odell Beckham's knee injury, which I honestly, was it a full tear or was it just a sprain?
It was a tear.
Yeah, if that could set him back far because that's his second one.
But they still have Robert Woods coming back.
True.
So they're
Also from an ACL injury, though. So
And they have
yeah,
Matt Gay.
so who knows if Robert Woods will come back at his full capacity. OBJ, this is his second injury on that leg, on that ACL, and you don't really come back after a second one. But we'll see what he does.
Hey, it's OBJ.
Well, they say, Tom Brady famously said that the ACL is a lifetime injury. Like, you're never completely the same.
Yeah.
But he had recovered from it once and was looking pretty darn good. Be nice if the Rams would get rid of that field turf. but we know it's not going to happen.
It took him a few years with Baker Mayfield to get back, though.
Yeah, but that's kind of why I brought that up, like about who's going to get back faster, because a lot of people are talking like, oh, no worries, this Bengals team is young, like most of their core is under 27, they'll be back. Well, Dan Marino thought that too, and Dan Marino never made it back.
Agreed.
And I don't mean this to say like the Bengals aren't like a great team and that they don't have a great future, because I do think they do have a great future, and they've got Joe Burrow, and as long as they can fix that offensive line, which is easier said than done.
Absolutely.
A lot of people are saying that, oh, they're just going to fix the offensive line. That's not that easy to do. They didn't come into this season thinking their offensive line was terrible.
Nope.
No one comes into a season like, oh, we know our offensive line sucks. That's how we want it to be.
Well, with
And
the
honestly-
Bengals, you kind of did though. I mean, we all were like, "What are you doing?"
They've always had a pretty
No, I
bad
mean,
offensive line. And
they
honestly,
wanted.
If a team has a good offensive lineman, they don't give up on him easily. Like look at the Eagles with Jason Kelsey, with Brandon
Well-
Graham, or not Brandon Graham, but
Here's my defense with the Bengals. Though. I mean, the Bengals need to hurry up and get a offensive line because we don't want Joe Burrow to end up being the next Andrew Luck.
And that was going to be the next point, that the Colts, how many times did they try to fix that offensive line until they finally got Quentin Nelson and Andrew Luck was gone?
In our defense, we had Grigson as our GM.
Okay, you can't say we, you were an Eagles fan when this happens. You can say we in reference to the Colts from this year on. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're a Wentz bandwagon.
Yeah, the Wentz era only is
The
when
Wentz
you were.
era is over. I told you this. It's over.
You were saying something about him, how you wanted to.
If we can't get an
keep him.
upgrade,
You said, yeah, I'd like
Yeah.
another season with Wentz.
if we can't get an upgrade.
That's not what you said, actually.
The Aaron Rodgers pipe dream is already burned out for him.
Anyway,
It's too
but
bad.
let me say what I saw in this Super Bowl. The refs did call a good game. If you really want to think about it. Actually, no, wait, let me backtrack. They called a good game the final 2 minutes. The refs kept the Bengals in that game longer than they should have been in that game, because if you take away the T. Higgins drive, well, T. Higgins' lucky play, the Bengals' offense was doing absolutely nothing. And people want to say, oh, if Joe Burrow had more time, he would have made that throw. Guys, Joe Burrow played very average in that game.
The entire playoffs, he played very average.
Played
Like,
average.
Forget. Well, there's one of his like one of those game score stats, or I forget which one it is, but he was below average the entire postseason. I love Joe Burrow, and I think Joe Burrow's going to be. He's got a really bright future. I just love his swag. He borderlines on cocky, like Riley, but I love his swag.
Yeah.
And I think he's got a bright future as long as he doesn't get dinged up anymore.
But the other thing is, people are like, well, the refs cost us this. Bengals fans, if you want something to blame, maybe you guys should have been better in the red zone. Maybe you should have been better in 3rd and short. I mean, if you want to combine 3rd and short, 4th and short in the red zone, the Bengals were combined 3 and 15. You do not win playoff games not converting on those must-get downs.
Yep.
And 3rd down, what do we all call it? It's the quarterback down. You need your quarterback to show up in only 2 places in order to win. The red zone and 3rd down. And guess which quarterback did that?
Matt Stafford.
Matthew Stafford.
And it's time people put some respect on that man.
Absolutely. And that's why
Honestly-
when you said MVP of that game, you're right. They did give it to the wrong guy. And everybody wants to say it belongs to Aaron Donald. What are you doing?
Honestly, Matthew Stafford, from what I'm looking at, Matthew Stafford and Joe Burrow played pretty much the exact same game.
No, what are you?
Running through-
Are you delusional?
Listen, running through the game, they played pretty much the exact
Oh
same
my-
game where they're throwing the ball. There were a few picks here and there, a bunch of
Actually,
incompletions.
I agree with you because Matt Stafford's not even the best Matt on his team.
And then
Matt Gay has that.
Matt Stafford had that last drive that he scored that touchdown with Cooper Kupp, and that was the best drive of the whole game where he completed every pass on that drive.
Wait. Can we just go to the first half before Odell Beckham went down? Matthew Stafford was almost flawless. And actually, if you want to be honest with it, Matthew Stafford was flawless pretty much the entire game except one play. And that was the throw to
Well, that's not flawed.
who
The
was it?
punt?
The punt. The punt.
Yeah, I don't know how he even pretended that he was upset that ball got intercepted. Like, it looked like he was throwing it to the other guy.
Like, it was the 3rd and 15, and he just threw it up like, let's
Yeah.
just hope something happens.
Yeah.
But the other pick wasn't his fault. It was with the converted tight end from Notre Dame. What's his name, Caleb? You
Skoranek.
Skoranek, the guy with no hands.
Yeah.
Nelson-
Don't
the-
sleep on Skoranek.
The white Aguilar.
He'll be all right in a couple years. You'll see.
What's race got to do with
He
it?
just wasn't ready.
The white Nelson Aguilar. We all remember how bad Nelson Aguilar
Yeah, what's
was.
race got to do with it?
All right, looks like we have another part to edit out.
It's a distinction.
I don't see color.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
He's so mad that he has to be here right now.
This is.
We should let him take a shower.
We should have let him take a shower.
It's like Matt Gay.
But Riley, I meant to ask you though. So you said 35-31, and actually, if you go back and watch, out of all the predictions, you were the closest. You just had the teams wrong. But you did say, I'll give you your credit. You did say that you thought the Rams would win, but you're choosing more of just hope than you were with skill.
because I would love to see. I don't know. I root for the underdogs. Always been that Eagles fan. They've never really been great, and even through the playoffs, they were like the underdog when they ran up on that 2018 season. So when I saw the Bengals going through and they beat the Raiders, they beat the Titans, I was like, this is the team I want to win the Super Bowl.
They weren't really the underdogs against the Raiders, but they were against the other two.
Yeah.
Against the Titans.
And not to mention,
I don't know. I think before the postseason, you said the Titans are like the weakest one seed ever.
Yes.
And I argued with you because I thought Derrick Henry was going to make a difference. But you were right. I hate to admit that he was right. I don't do that often.
I think if Derrick Henry was
But that
full
was a
health,
weak team.
then you were wrong. But with the situation that happened,
there was no way he
not
was going to be
health.
full health. You're a running back. What's the most important part of a running back?
His feet.
Now, I do agree with Caleb when he said they
His
should have
vision.
played Foreman.
Yeah.
Foreman was the better running back. I mean, if we want to be honest, it was kind of incredible what the Titans were doing, though, at the end of the season, because when they needed to find a run game, they found Derrick Henry Jr. in Foreman. I mean, when you watch the two play, they're pretty much the same exact running back, except one's just a little more seasoned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that this was a pretty good Super Bowl.
Oh.
I think it definitely beats most of the blowouts that we've had in the past few years.
You know what I was realizing? Up until Super Bowl 50, we were actually getting like a lot of good Super Bowls. I mean, you had 44, 45, 46, 47 was pretty good, 48 sucked, but 49 and then 50 was horrible. And then since Super Bowl 50, I mean, we've only had like 2 good Super Bowls. This one and then Super Bowl 52. I know people want to say Super Bowl 51 is the greatest game, but if you want to be completely honest, Super Bowl 51 was 2 totally same halves. One team dominated, the other team sucked.
Yeah.
I mean, I find nothing impressive. I mean, don't call me wrong. The comeback is impressive, but it's not a fun game to watch. I like games where they're going back and forth. That's why when people say
Yeah.
greatest Super Bowl of all time, I will always.
No, that was a fun game.
As a
'Cause it
Falcon,
was still close towards the end.
true. But
Yeah.
as a Falcons fan, you'd be very excited in the first half, and then the second half, you're just sitting there real.
That was
quiet.
just 2 bad halves of football. Honestly, it was a
Yeah.
bad half of football from the Patriots in the first half, and a bad half of football
Kinda
from the
like,
Falcons in the second half.
Wasn't Matt Gay on the Falcons?
kind of like
No, he was drafted by the Bucks.
knew that.
Bengals and Chiefs in the conference.
Yeah, that wasn't
It was
it.
one good half for the Chiefs in the
Yeah, it
first,
really
and then
was.
one
It
good
was-
half for the Bengals in the second.
And it's not an.
Yeah. I think the Chiefs have like. There's something wrong with the Chiefs. Like when I was watching the Bucks, like towards the end, there's something wrong. There's something off there. You had the thing with AB, and I know AB's nuts, and he's been nuts for a while. But you also had the situation with Arians smacking the guy in the back of the head, and like he looked
As he should.
kind of angry when he did it. Like, and I'm not like saying like I'm not being soft saying you shouldn't do that, but coaches don't do it like that. Like he looked angry.
Wait, are you
and
talking about the Bucks or the Chiefs? You said.
I'm talking about the
Bucks.
Bucks, but I'm making a comparison
Keep
here
up, Christian.
because the Chiefs were like the Bucks because the Chiefs just never felt like the Chiefs. They don't feel like that juggernaut anymore. They just feel like I still believed in the Chiefs because I believe in Patrick Mahomes, and I think Patrick Mahomes is still the best quarterback in the NFL this side of Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers is still a stud until he has to play in Lambeau in 15-degree weather or less. But who would be able to throw well in that? But anyway, I just think that there's something wrong with the Chiefs. And when you see the way that the Chiefs are like kind of coming at Eli Apple and like mocking the Bengals, the
It's a
Bengals
shame.
beat you, bro. They beat you.
And honestly,
And they shouldn't have beat you, but they did. So don't come at Eli Apple. Like, you guys look petty, you look immature, and that's why you guys lost.
So with the Chiefs, though, I have been hearing stories. Eric Bieniemy and Pat Mahomes don't have a good relationship. They can't stand each other. And Mahomes has been praying that he gets a job, but the reason Eric Bieniemy can't get a job is because the reports are coming out. If you realize this past year, Eric Bieniemy didn't get a lot of TV time during games, and that's because Andy Reid said, do not show our sideline because him and Mahomes are going at it a lot.
No. It's Jackson Mahomes and Brittany.
Oh, my goodness.
The kryptonite.
Well, they could. I do think they do have a factor. Like, they are a factor, and they're distracting.
Oh, yes.
Joe Burrow definitely did not want to see them dance at the Super Bowl again.
And,
Thank goodness. Thank goodness, right?
I know. If Joe Burrow
and hopefully, I don't know if that report was true or
It
not.
was
They
not
told him to
true.
go away.
Mahomes came straight out and said it was a false report because I don't know how that married.
Honestly, if I was the Chiefs organization,
I would ban them.
Like, yeah, come to the games, sit in the press box, do whatever the heck you want up there. But you're not coming on my field doing that foolishness.
Yeah, kind of just embarrasses
Yeah,
the team.
it just looks
She
bad.
was in the press box and she dumped beer all over everyone.
Yeah.
Champagne.
Yeah.
But I think that the Chiefs, at least at the end of that conference game, they looked like they didn't want to play together.
And
like,
here's the
it
reason
was
with
Patrick
that.
Mahomes just playing by himself. He was trying to force it.
That wasn't so. The reason they were looking so bad So I don't know if you guys have been reading reports. Eric Bieniemy's been calling the plays the last 2 years because he thinks that would help him get into consideration for a head coach. He was calling plays that the Chiefs had not been practicing in over 3 to 4 months. So Mahomes was trying to scream at him, "Hey, we need to come back to more recent stuff." And Bieniemy's like, "No, you're going to run my plays on my sideline."
See, that's the difference between Patrick Mahomes and Matthew Stafford. Patrick Mahomes is an elite talent. He's an elite athlete. Matthew Stafford has elite talent, and he's got an elite mind. He's got a football mind
Mahomes can still call some plays.
Well, with that, but here's my argument.
No,
I don't care how good of a talent or
I'm rearranging my order. Matthew Stafford's the best quarterback in the NFL.
good.
I
Lord.
said
Joe
it.
Burrow?
He's the best quarterback in the NFL. Matthew Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen. We can do another episode where we talk straight about quarterbacks, but I'm telling it right
Josh
now.
Allen's
Well,
Matthew
MVP
Stafford,
next year.
number
Wait,
one.
Caleb
Put some
does.
respect on that.
Caleb
man's
does
name.
have a stat that backs.
Fastest to 50,000 yards.
Caleb does have a stat that backs this up. There's only been one quarterback in NFL history to throw for 6,000 yards and 50-plus touchdowns and win a Super Bowl. Does anybody know what quarterback that is?
I'm going to guess it was Matthew Stafford.
It was Matthew
The
Stafford.
best quarterback in the NFL.
They didn't win the Super Bowl, but Joe Burrow, surprisingly, was the only quarterback in NFL history to make it to the Super Bowl with over 50 sacks on the season, because he has no offensive line and was getting hit constantly. So I think that we should give him credit for that, for being
Yeah, he deserves
most
credit. but
resilient quarterback.
He's also
I've
got
ever seen.
elite weapons
Don't
everywhere
worry.
else,
This
though.
time next year, we're going to be talking about Justin Herbert.
Stafford was playing that Super Bowl with Cooper Kupp and Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
His second best receiver was Darrell Henderson,
I mean, can we actually
who
have?
hadn't played in 2 months.
Let's actually have an honest discussion. How many points do the Rams put up if Odell doesn't go down?
Can you,
30.
the Bengals had everybody, right? Like, was anybody out for the Bengals?
No. Oh, no. Everybody
Yeah,
was healthy.
They were completely healthy. The Rams were missing Tyler Higbee, who was a big part of their offense. They were missing Robert Woods, who they missed like half the season, and they lost Odell Beckham in the middle of the game.
Oh, you're talking about offense.
And they're missing their real superstar, their second-round pick, Tutu Atwell.
But they had Matt Gay.
Just kidding. The picks suck.
Tutu
Draft picks
Atwell
suck.
is his favorite player.
He's going to break out. We'll see. Believe me.
He's
You know, I saw one thing I love. Remember when we were watching the game and we saw Brandon Powell on the sideline and he was talking to Stafford and he was like, I told you, I was like, he's saying, put me in, man. I'll make a play for you. That's exactly what he said. They have it mic'd up. That's exactly what he said. He said, let me in there, man. I'll make a play. And apparently, I didn't know this. Powell actually played with Stafford with the Lions.
Yeah.
And the one game he played, he had like 6 catches, 100-something yards, and 2 touchdowns. So they should let him
actually
ride.
the reason Powell is even on the Rams is because Stafford said, "I want him here."
Well, they need to keep him.
Absolutely. You know who would be another good player the Rams should bring back if Odell's not able to?
Deshaun Jackson.
No. Josh Reynolds.
Yeah,
Tavion
they
Austin.
tried. Tavon, I love Tavon. But yeah,
Kurt
futures. We'll see what the Rams do because they tried to make us all nervous with that pre-Super Bowl talk. With McVay might go into the booth, Aaron Donald might retire.
His wife shut that down so quick.
Come on, guys, let's enjoy the Super Bowl. I almost wanted him to lose because I didn't want Donald and McVay to leave. I enjoy success.
Hey, 7-9 Jeff Fisher can
Yeah.
get back.
Yeah, I think that after they have one more year together, 2 more years.
Who?
Like the whole team, the Rams, they got like 1 or 2 more years all together.
Well,
and then
here's
their
if you
contracts
listen,
are up.
if you listen to the media, they still have no salary cap, like negative 17. But if they make like 2 to 3 moves, they can really realistically be at like 30
Yeah,
million.
because Stafford's at a huge hit right now, but it'll go way down at the time to an extension, and they will.
They'd be stupid not to.
Yeah, and Whitworth's probably going to retire. And there's some other moves they can make. So
And
they're
in
going to
all-
have cap space.
In all honesty, all the Rams need to do is bring Von Miller back.
The salary cap is made up anyway. Let's be real.
This isn't baseball.
It's made up
I don't know. I
because
feel like it's made up.
you can maneuver around that
I
thing
think
as
in
long as you
any
want.
sport, even in basketball, I feel like it's made up.
Eventually, you're going to have to pay the
Basketball has a
piper.
salary cap?
Basketball's a joke.
I don't.
Eventually, you're going to have to pay the piper, like I think the Saints might eventually, because they've been kicking that can down the road. But well, I mean, we'll see. They still handed Taysom Hill like a $70 million contract or whatever.
Well, now they don't
did.
have now
And
they
he's
have to
terrible.
pay. What's his name? Alvin
Carson Wentz is
Kamara.
going to the Saints. It's caught now.
They don't have to pay Alvin Kamara anymore, so
Yeah,
they
he's
can
gonna
give
be-
all that money to Michael
He's going to be
Thomas
in the longest yard too.
Him and Watson would be the stars.
to go to the Raiders.
All right. So the Rams won the Super Bowl.
Caleb's happy.
Congratulations.
We'll see you back here next year. Same time, same channel. I'm going to wear my Rams shirt next year in our Super Bowl celebration video because
I'll
I'm
be
calling
wearing-
it right now.
We gonna be
Prediction.
I'll be wearing my Eagles.
Rams are
I'm wearing
gonna
my
win.
Eagles shirt.
Hey, I'll be
Eagles are
wearing
gonna
my
make
Colts
it.
shirt after we have another disappointing 9-8 year and miss the playoffs. With
I
the
wonder if
98
he'll even still be a Colts fan.
We're going to be talking about Josh
If you-
Allen beating the Rams.
Nah. But I mean, Josh Allen could be in there, but he's going to have a rough day just like Joe
Yep.
Burrow had.
I think that. Well, I
Have
think
a rough
that.
time.
after this Super Bowl, I think that Joe Burrow is going to learn. Same thing with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. I think they're all going to learn.
Joe Burrow should pull a Ben Simmons and get out of Cincinnati. Go somewhere that has an offensive
Don't
line.
bring that name up.
Indy wants you. We'll take you, Joe.
Philadelphia would
All right.
gladly take him.
You guys have
got
Jalen.
Hurts.
You got Hurts. See, Jalen Hurts is better. Jalen Hurts
Save
is
it
the,
for the quarterback episode. This is Rams time.
whose house?
Rams house.
God's house.
All right.
Anyway, thank you for watching this episode. Until next time.
To be continued.